Okay.
You've got to laugh about it, Sanet. This is TV. This is live TV.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you were wondering for 8 minutes what happened to us. So we were talking away. My screen have made a glitch when I brought Susie and Tracy and Don in. And then I thought, okay, but then we continue. And then I saw, oh no, we are not live. Luckily, I had to stop Don because he was introducing himself. So, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, this is a different type of show. It's an amazing show. It's a over the top show. Thank you for joining us. So I have my guest here already. No video, no of that in front, nothing of that. So yes, something different. And you know, my beautiful guests, sometimes stuff happen and you must just go with the flow. So let me introduce my beautiful guest. I'm going to start with Susie. Susie, I know you 2 years and you are such an inspiration. I actually didn't mention it just now, but when you phoned me 2 years ago to ask me how I am, I thought, oh, I cannot believe this lady all the way from Australia is phoning me, Sanet, to ask me how I am. I never forget that day. I always followed you. And when you joined the Diamond Beauties, our amazing group on Facebook, I was overwhelmed because I know there is ladies that's going to follow you because you are such an inspiration. So my beautiful Susie, if you can introduce yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sanet. Hi, everyone. So I'm Susie Dent. I'm coming to you live from England at the moment. I'm normally from Australia. And I am a film and television hair and makeup artist. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an author. And I'm a professional mentor. I teach people how to do on-camera stuff and things like that. And I'm the author of 60 is the New 40, the ultimate guide to aging, because age is just a number. And I'm really, really grateful to be here with my girlfriend, Tracy, and Don, who I'm looking forward to hearing all about.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And congratulations on your book. I am so happy. And you know, I will be 58 in a week and a half's time, but I don't feel 58. I feel 40. Wow,
40's
amazing.
good. I'm 61 now and I feel 40. So I'm
perfect.
Age. I'm going to live to 110. So I'm only halfway there.
Oh, wow. My year is 120. And the first thing my grandson said to me, he's now 8 in New Zealand. He said, oh, me, are you going to have teeth? I said, yes. I will have teeth, even if I have to take it out when I go to sleep. I said, oh, me. Oh, wow. My beautiful Tracy, when Susie said to me she's got another chick, she called it a chick, Aussie chick, that's going to be part of her TV show, I could not wait to meet you. And wow, when I met you, you were truly amazing. And on Monday session with our play date with the Diamond Beauties, you were also there. And you blow our socks away. You are truly amazing. Please introduce yourself. And I know it's so early in the morning for you.
I think when you go on international TV, you have to quote Truman, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because we're all in such different time zones. I'm Tracy Horton. I'm coming to you from Australia, so the sun hasn't risen here yet. It's 4:45. We're in the middle of winter, so the sun won't be up till about 6. And I am a lifestyle transformational coach. I work with people to help them discover that they are entitled to have it all. I'm a big believer in the fact that we have one purpose and one passion. We come to life and we come to this earth for a reason. And when we work that reason out, you cannot help but have a very successful, happy life.
Wow. But Tracy, you have mentioned one thing, and I got goosebumps that you mentioned, and maybe I cannot pronounce it, orgasmic.
Orgasmic, yeah. I have a course called The Orgasmic Life. And what I say to people is this: if the only time you're excited is in the bedroom, you don't know how to live. Because I believe that we should have, excuse me, Don, you're in with the Aussies now. I do believe that we should have a truly orgasmic, happy, fulfilled life in every aspect of our lives.
You are amazing, Michael. Amazing. I love you. And then I want to go to Don. Let me just take this off. My beautiful Don. We are part of the CLA group, and I wanted to ask you to come and speak to us on the Diamond Beauties. And then we had a coffee date. Wow, you blew me away. I was amazed with all the things that you have done. And when you sent me your bio, I found out that you have written a children's book, all with magic. I love magic. I love using my information, my imagination. I'm a little bit nervous now with this thing that didn't go live. So I just need to get in the groove again. So my beautiful Dawn, if you can introduce yourself.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you all for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm coming all the way from Ontario, Canada, where it is 3 p.m. It is the start of our summer. We're not in winter. Mind you, we just left winter and it was pretty cold. But anyway, a little bit about me. I was born and raised on the east coast of Canada in a province called Nova Scotia. I moved halfway across the country to work in law enforcement, and I've been in law enforcement for the last 23 years. So that's what I do to pay the bills and pay the mortgage, but that's not what I do for fun. What inspires me is something that's really come together over the last probably 7 to 10 years. It pretty much started with the writing of a children's book, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but it certainly shifted the direction of my life and my goals. And I'm very, very, I don't know, inspirationally minded. I founded a company called Inspired Minds Apparel that is soon to be up and running because I believe that we all need inspiration. There's too much negativity out there, and I want to have t-shirts and apparel with inspirational logos on it. I'm a co-owner of a once a month live on stage event called Mo Mondays. It falls on a Monday. It's a motivational Monday evening where we get wonderful people like yourselves up on stage, and they have 10 minutes to tell a story of inspiration that they've been through. And it's amazing how that all connects people together. You may think you don't have a story. Everybody's got a story. What you've gone through and come out the other side, I may be starting and I may be afraid. So these things have just led me on this wonderful journey, and I'm just glad I'm able to share.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Don. So we've got some Diamond Beauties that are giving us some love. So first of all, we have Renee. She said, hello. Thank you so much, Renee. And then we've got another Diamond Beauty. Hi, everyone. Greetings from Toronto, Canada. And maybe this is Vin. I'm not too sure, but ladies, remember, our Diamond Beauties is a private group, and because of the privacy, they don't show your name. So please just put a name at the end or in the front, and then we know that you are that you. We've got somebody here as well. It says Coach Eva, hello from Great Britain. Oh, we have. So I've just hello, yeah. So she said, yes, it's me, Vin. You're right. I thought it was a. So thank you so much, Vin. So now let us go to Susie. Susie, I wanted to ask you, what are you doing in England?
Well, I came to England for 3 weeks, and I decided to stay for 6 months because I'm trusting my intuition, and I'm having faith in myself, and I'm having faith in my journey, and I felt that I could be of the most use and the best service here. I was part of a huge court case here in 2014, and I helped put a pedophile, a very, very famous man called Rolf Harris, in jail, and I was part of that court case. And I came over here to, apart from to launch my book, at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, but to be part of the publicity because I'm in a documentary, my second UK documentary called Rolf Harris Hiding in Plain Sight. And then he's very old and he died. So I've been inundated with press from around the world. I've been on Good Morning Britain. I've been on Sky News. That was seen by 4 million people. I've done live crosses to Australia. I'm sitting here with you in the Sun newspaper on the weekend. So I've had massive amounts of press, and I talk about not just being sexually assaulted. I talk about forgiveness and healing and how important it is in our lives. And I felt that I really should trust my intuition, and that I could really be of the most service with my journey here in the UK. And things have just been coming to me, and people have been appearing, and energetically I feel great, and I'm calm here, and I'm really happy here, and I'm really centered here, and I'm just working towards my efficiency here, which is great. So I'm on fire. I came here with Tracy down below, and we did the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival together as two Aussie chicks, which was great. So we had lots of people come up and go, "Are you guys Australian?" And we just opened our mouths and spoke. So, that was really fun. And we sold our books and our courses. I also have a course, 60 is the new 40. And I'm just really, I really am. I'm completely living my life in faith right now. I'm a big believer in listening to the whispers that the universe or God sends us and paying attention to them. And I often speak about that, but I'm not being whispered to right now. I'm being roared at. So I'd be silly if I didn't listen. And I went home to Australia, so I decided to stay. And here I am.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Can I just say something? When you went into Madame Thesaurus and you took that pictures, you and Tracy, I laughed so much at some of your poses with some of those famous people. It was like so beautiful. It was I really enjoyed it.
We went, so it was Waxworks, everybody, Madame Tussauds Waxworks Museum. And Tracy and I both took our books, and every single Waxworks person we came with, we tucked the book in, or we had a photo with the book. So we figured we'd just post us with all these stars from all around the world that had our books. And we had people watching us while we dove in and took photos with our books and everything. So we were entertaining ourselves as much as we were entertaining everybody else. Now we have all these great photos with stars from all around the world, don't we, Tracy?
Yeah, we do.
That was truly amazing. So before I go to Tracy, we've got Wendy. She said, hello, lovely people. And then Anjana is also in the house. Anjana, I saw her live yesterday. She on her Tracy, remember on Monday session, our play date sessions, she wanted to have more connections because Don, in our play sessions, we have it every first Monday of the month. You have to tell what you want to do for the next month, and we will then be each other's accountability partner. And I said, okay, let us then meet, and then we had the face-to-face, and it was beautiful to see her again. And then I've got another lady. I'm not sure who it is. Hello, everyone. So please remember to put your name in the front or the back so that we can know. So my beautiful Tracy, you were also in UK. And you know, when I asked last Friday or 2 weeks Friday ago, what is your small wins? You told me about this woman that bought so many books from you. So if you could tell us a little bit about your UK trip, and then please tell us about this warden that have bought so many of your books. Please, that was truly an inspirational story for the Diamond Beauties.
Well, as you've all met Susie, you know that if you travel with Susie, it's fun. So we went business class. We had lots of fun. We did do things like Madame Tussauds. Hey, Susie, I just want to tell you, we were standing beside a real live person and we missed it. Kid Cudi was in England, and I saw him, and I thought, that has got to be him. I missed the photo. So the only real celebrity we missed completely because we were being us. At the expo, I wrote a book called The Unhappy Smile. Here it is right here. And it's a small book. It's a simple book. And it's the story of my life of sexual abuse and DV as a child and how I overcame it. And the book is very succinct. It's very small. You can put it in your bag. You can have it on your bench, because I'm a big believer that had I written it 4 times bigger, it just all would have been ego. Really, I put the answers in the book. And I've sold it internationally now for about 5 years. I've traveled with it, I've promoted it, and I love that a lot of people have it, but every now and then there's just this thing that just touches my heart. And Susie was off networking, as she calls it. We're not really sure what she was doing, but let's just stick with networking. And this lady came up to our stand and got talking to me, and she said, I've had an unhappy smile for 30 years. So we got talking about that and about how she could overcome that. And then she asked if she could buy 6 books. And I said, I always like to know why people want to buy a big amount. So I said, why do you want to buy 6 books? And she said, because I'm a warden in a prison and I want to put one on every ward. So I let her buy her book and I donated the others, because I'm a huge believer in giving and giving back. And I want this book. When I wrote this book, I sold it personally. I've self-published it. It will never go to the publisher like the other ones are later this year, because I always want to be able to give this book away, because I want it to be in the hands of people that can't afford it, that need to have this healing. So that was a really great moment. And then there was a bunch of people that were doing massages, and I'd had a few massages because I love to. And I just really thought they were amazing people. So that morning, on the last morning, because I had a few books, I was leaving with Susie, and I just took 7 over and gave one to each of them. And they all thanked me. But later that day, a young guy came over and he said to me, I've been wanting to buy your book since I saw it. And he said, I was sexually abused from the age of 12 to 18. And he said, I just haven't had the guts to come over to you. So he said, I really want to thank you. This book will change my life. And right at that moment, I'm always dropped into the true essence of why I ever wrote it, and why I'm on this video at 5 a.m, why I know Susie Dent, why I'm going to know Don, and why I do what I do.
Amazing. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Tracy is a true inspiration from the heart.
Thank you. That is very kind.
Tracy, I have goosebumps all over, all over, all over.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will be coming back to you. So, my beautiful Don, please, you've showed your book. So please just tell us your children book. And why did you write a children book?
Sure. So this is the book. It's called Hazel Grace and the Magic Blanket. I was working in law enforcement, and I was helping to supervise our dispatch center, our communication center, which is predominantly organized and run by civilian members, not uniform officers. And there's one dispatcher in particular. Her name is Hazel. I've always nicknamed her Hazel Grace, who just has this calming spirit around her. And on this day, she was not working, and proverbial hell was happening in the city. And I remember walking by her station, and I said, man, I need a little Hazel Grace here just to calm things down. And it was a light bulb moment. It was an inspiration. It was a whisper from God, Tracy. And I said, I should make a children's book about it. So Hazel travels frequently to Africa for spiritual and self-development. And over the years, she's told me of her journeys. And she was born the tiny island of St. Kitts in the Caribbean. And in Canada, we get snow and it gets cold. And everywhere Hazel goes, she either has a jacket on, this is in the office, a heater going, or a blanket. So I said, I'm gonna write a book called Hazel Grace and the Magic Blanket. It's going to be an African-based blanket to show, homage to her African desire. So long story short, I come up with the idea. I needed to get it illustrated. I had someone in mind to illustrate it, and that fell through, sat on the back burner for about a month. One of my other dispatchers, totally unrelated, disclosed to me that she is a trained illustrator, had gone to school for that, but never got into the industry. So she and I concocted a little plan. We were going to put this book together as a joke, maybe print off a dozen or so of the books. And the only people that knew about it was myself and my wife, Samantha, Sam, and her husband. And that was it. Hazel had no idea. No one else in the room knew about it. It took about a year for it to come to fruition, to the point that I had all the pieces together. I had a budget of slightly more than $0 to work with, and I needed to get it published. And the Lord works in mysterious ways and puts people in your path. And I met a gentleman by the name of Gordon D. Melville, who Sanet probably knows quite well. I met him in the United States. We connected when we got back to Canada. He put me in touch with a publisher, and things were launched. And when I went to get it published, they said, "How many copies do you want?" And the smart thing would be a dozen. But then I looked at the dollars and cents, and I said, "Well, let's do 300." So the day came to finally present it to Hazel. We take her out to lunch. She has no idea what's going on. I present the book to her in a restaurant, and she shies away from it. She pushes her way away from the table. She won't say a word. And that was the first time in a year that I thought, maybe this was not a good idea. Maybe this is not something she would like. She wouldn't talk. She wouldn't touch the book. I opened the book, and there's a quote in there, and I was torn because it's a children's book. What should I put for a quote? Walt Disney? Kids know about Disney, right? And Mickey Mouse, or Eleanor Roosevelt. And I was torn. I was directed. I had to put the Eleanor Roosevelt quote in. She read it, and she got right angry with me. And Hazel said, "How do you know about this quote?" I'm like, "Google. How do you know about anything? That's what you do. You Google it." But she said, "This quote is on the living room in my house. It's on the wall." Wow. Yeah. So then I'd also said to her that I had shown the book to a friend who suggested maybe because of the multicultural aspect of the story, that it would be good for an ESL class. So English as a second language. We've got new Canadians coming in, and she goes, "Well, you know my background." I said to Hazel, "I don't know your background." She goes, "I'm a trained ESL instructor. I teach ESL." No idea. So
that's great.
I'll hold the book up again real quick. The front of the book, this is the yellow blanket, kind of with an African print. So what really got my heart was the week before we presented the book to her, she was away at a retreat where this African shaman had come to Jamaica. She had ventured to Jamaica with women and people from all over the world. And she had gone through something very emotional, and she needed to rest. Her friends go to tuck her in, and these are women that she has just met. And one of them says, "We need a blanket. You're in Jamaica. It's hot. You don't need a blanket." So this one woman says, "I have one back in my room." She goes back to the room. She was from, I can't remember what country, Switzerland or somewhere, and comes back with this blanket, and they tuck Hazel in, and Hazel feels the fabric, and she goes, is this from Burkina Faso, which is a province in Africa? And the woman says, yes, it is. So anyway, next day she gives a blanket back. At the end of the week, they're saying their goodbyes, and they're at the airport, and this woman takes the blanket, folds it up, and hands it to Hazel and says, "This blanket was meant to be yours," and gives her this African blanket. And then 2 days later, I give her a book, and it's about this magic blanket from Africa.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
So
Wow,
so when I
that's
did, yeah. So and I know we're limited for time, but that has just launched my direction to be more in a servant leadership role. I donated all the proceeds to the book to whatever charity Hazel wanted. I never did it to make money. That was not my intention. My intention was just to be, pay it forward and recognize a very wonderful human being. Since then, everywhere I go, I take the book with me, and it is now all over the world. It's in its third printing. I always find somebody. We were in a little place called Weston, Florida, which is in the southern part of Florida, U.S. And my wife and I were at a pub having a bite to eat, and I had a T-shirt that had the little Hazel Grace cartoon on it. And the waitress, this young girl, 22-year-old girl, wanted to know what it was. I gave her a quick little story like I just gave you, and she goes, "Oh, I would love to have a copy." No problem. I'll go get you one. So I run back to the resort and I come back and I give her a book. And everybody I give the book to, I ask this one question: who can I make it? Can I sign it? Who can I make it out to? And she looks at me and she goes, Bianca. So, okay, Bianca. And who's Bianca? And she looks at me and she goes, my 4-year-old niece. She has leukemia. Right? I would be honored to give this book to you, right? Later that week, we're at the resort and my wife is in the pool meeting people and having a great time. And of course, she makes me go, you got to go get another book. Oh, great. So I'm drying off of the pool and I run up to the room and I come back. And this woman, I would say she was probably in her late 40s, maybe early 50s, is a correctional officer in the United States. A very hardy, stocky lady that I wouldn't want to mess with. And she wanted a book. So I said, okay, who can I make it out to? And this tough, hardened lady looks at me and she starts to cry and she goes, my mother. I said, your mother? She goes, yes. At the age of 19, my mother had me and gave up on all of her hopes and dreams to make sure I was raised properly. And every chance I get to share a book with my mom, I do. I'm like, oh, like you're killing me here. You're killing me. And it has been story after story after story after story with this book. You know, and I've had other people say, we need to make something more out of this book. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So my beautiful Don, Tracy, and Susie, I would just love to play a quick video. Is one of our Diamond Beauties. She's also having her own show. So if you want to find out all about traveling, please go and watch her show. So let me play her promo. And it's not long. It's not long. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Duchess DJ Love, host of Gallivanting Like a Royal, where we discuss travel inspiration and how to live a royal lifestyle. So join us on Sundays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Fresh Takes TV network, streaming on the E360 TV platform.
Wow, amazing. So my beautiful Don, you are not part of the Diamond Beauties, but I know that you wanted to come to you also sent it to join, and I had to let you know, I'm so sorry, my beautiful Don, I cannot let you in because it's only for ladies. So we have actually ladies of 32 countries, age from 17 till 84, but my beautiful 84 lady will be 85 soon, and she's spunky. She's still driving a car. She's having a boyfriend, so it's so beautiful. We have such a beautiful age difference, and the ladies truly inspire each other on the group. So my beautiful Don, somebody said you gave them goosebumps. Vin said you gave them goosebumps, and Coach Eva said that is so wonderful. So now if I can go back to Tracy. Oh, excuse, I'm so sorry. I can go back to Susie. Susie, I know that you have your course and you have written your book. How can people get hold of you? And because you are such an inspiration, if you can give us a few tips and tricks as well. I think especially for our women with the makeup, but just some tips and tricks for not being 60 or 58, but rather 40.
Okay, so you can reach me via Facebook, Susie Dent, SUZIDENT, or Susie Dent Speaker. You can reach me on Instagram, which is Susie, SUZIHMUA, for hair makeup artist. And you can find me on YouTube under the same name. If you forget, you can Google me and find me and see interviews. Less is more as we get older. So I'm not a big believer in filters. In fact, don't put filters on because you're sending a really bad message to the younger generation. So, a really nice foundation, a nice liquid foundation. Don't put too much powder on your face because you're going to dry your skin out. So at the moment, all I've got on, I've got a nice pop of lipstick. I have just a liquid foundation. I have a little bit of blusher on my eyes and my lashes. I like having lashes because I'm lazy. And as we get older, you can't necessarily see the mascara as well. So for me, a big investment is to have lashes. They last for like 4 to 6 weeks if you look after them. And it's really easy. So you wake up in the morning and go, yay, I've got my face on. You just whack a lipstick on and drink 2+ liters of water a day. It's all about moisturizing. Moisturize from the outside and moisturize from the inside. They're my number one things for how to disrupt your aging process as you get older.
Wow. And my beautiful Susie, you had your birthday the other day and you were having a ball disco dancing. And when I asked you the other day, how are you, just to find out if you are okay. And then you said, no, you are so stiff because you went for disco dancing again. How amazing is that?
I went dancing. So I don't wear high heel shoes because orthotics don't fit in high heel shoes. So I wear runners pretty much most of the time. And I went last weekend, I went disco dancing. I went in a vineyard here in England with my cousins, which was just amazing. But you have to live life through joy and gratitude and fun. And, you've got to be happy. And I'm happy. And I like being happy all the time. And even though at the end of it, my knees hurt and they kind of hurt, my legs hurt for the next few days, it was really worth it because it was so much fun being with all this music outside. It doesn't get dark here till after 10 o'clock at night. It was all mixed ages. So there was lots of grey-haired people there, which was awesome, and young people. And everybody was just having a really good time getting into the music. And it was doof, doof, doof as well. So it was full on disco music, but living your life with gratitude and with joy are two of the most amazing mental and emotional states you put yourself in, and you will keep aging really well and never think that you're old. So my mantra is, if someone says, how are you? I go, fit, young, strong and vital. Thanks. How are you?
Oh, wow. I love it.
Mindset. The words that you use to describe yourself is how you're going to act.
True.
Can you please repeat that mantra you are saying? It was beautiful.
Fit, young, strong, and vital.
Wow.
In Australia here, sometimes men will say, you say, how are you going, mate? And they go, oh, doing okay for an old bloke. So they're saying that they're only okay, and they're saying that they're old. And you have to be careful of the words that you use to describe yourself to yourself and to others. So I don't ever use the word old or aging. Or anything like that. You be mindful of the words you use. So when people ask how you are, that's what you say. So I'm fit, young, strong, and vital. Thanks. And you will continue to be fit, young, strong, and vital. Never call yourself an old person.
I love it. And then I want to say to you, Susie, Vin, and Vin is also from that group that we were originally from.
How are you? Beautiful to see you here. I've been in the same group for over 3 years now, and Vin is a beautiful woman, and so is Eve. I know Eve as well, so it's lovely to see people that I know personally here, which is great.
Okay, so Eve says, I agree, no filters, and Eve also says, I love the mantra, Susie. That is beautiful. Susie, not the last question, but another question I want to ask. You are entertaining us every Friday with a beautiful friend. I know it's difficult now because you're in the UK, but if you can just tell us a little bit about your beautiful friend and your karaoke in the car. It is amazing. It is truly amazing.
Well, when a sickness came and changed the world, I actually lost both my careers in 1 week. My career as a makeup artist and my career as a speaker. So all the stages and the faces were taken away. So I pivoted like many people do, and I became a carer. And I became a carer for several women, but one special woman, and her name is Sonia. And she's 53, and she is mentally and physically challenged. But what we would do every Friday, I have seen her every Friday, apart from the last month, for the last 3 years. I love her. She loves me. And we have what's called Karaoke Fridays. And Sonia and I would drive around and we'd sing songs. and we sing The Sound of Music, and we sing Grease, and we sing all this stuff that she loves, and we have so much fun bringing each other joy. And I've built up her confidence so much over the last 3 years. I would look forward to seeing Sonia every Friday whenever I was feeling down. Sonia is the most uncomplicated human that I know on this planet. Sonia has like an Apple Watch, and she's got my face on the watch, which is just beautiful. I actually got to speak to her this week because her sister, Sonia doesn't know what Facebook is, so I record some of our videos and I put them on Facebook, because life is about inclusivity, and it's about sharing our journey and showing people who you really are. And Sonia has brought great happiness to many people around the world who have watched us sing and watched us have fun doing our thing. And it's not perfect. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's, pretty average, but we still have a really good time doing it. But more than anything, Sonia has a great time, and she and I have this beautiful connection together. And it's important to give of yourself to others, because not everybody has the life that you have, and not everybody is as lucky as you are to be here. So when you can reach out and help another person, however you do it, I do it with singing with Sonia. Tracy and Don do it through other ways, through their books, and we all reach out to others in our lives. And that's kind of the key to life, is to share your journey and reach out and help others and share your love. So you can find songs with me and Sonia on Facebook, which is wonderful. But I got to speak to her this week because her sister put her on Messenger, and it was so important because I knew she'd be devastated that I wasn't coming home for 6 months, and she was. So we got to have a huge talk this week, and then she rang me again the very next day. Now she knows how to use the button on Messenger. So I'm very, very grateful that she's in my life. And I love her a lot, and we both love bringing. Well, she doesn't know what she's doing with the Facebook thing, but we run into people in the shops all the time who know exactly who she is, and she just takes it all in a stride now. I'm like, "You're famous, Sonia." She's going, "Yeah, whatever."
Oh, it's so beautiful. And even when Vin said, "I love you karaoke Fridays with Sonia." Thank you so much.
Isn't it? Thank you, Vin.
Thank you for sharing. So, Tracy, I know that you are a grandmother, and I am also a grandmother. And when you said your grandchildren were so happy to see you, I felt like over the moon, because I cannot wait till the end of the year so that I can see my grandsons. I can see them, but I cannot touch them, so I cannot wait. So can you please tell us a little bit about your grandson, and then can you also tell us how you are serving other people, and how can other people connect to you?
So I had 4 daughters, and I had them within 4 years, and they all got married within 4 years, which was a bit of financial pressure, let me tell you. But they've all had children quite young. So at 59, I'm the nana to 9 grandchildren, soon to be 10 in September. I have 6 girls, soon to be 7, and 3 boys. And I think one of the things my grandchildren have really done for me is brought that complete closure of life. You get into life and you get busy and you start achieving, and then you have children, and it's all really serious. But when it comes to grandkids, it's actually all just about love. And I have 2 autistic grandchildren, and my grandson Dominic is honestly just the joy of my life because of how he is. And I talk a lot in my class now when I teach about autism, and about how it really is an asset and a gift, and we need to be able to be a little bit more autistic in the way we view life, because Dom is very logical. And so when I got home, he said to me, "Nana, I'm really glad you're home from England, because I need you." And I said, "Okay, Dom, that's no problem. What do you need?" And he said, "Well, I found out while you're away I can't marry any girls I know," because Dom spends a lot of time with his cousins because he's quite sensory overloaded. He said, "So I need you to find me a wife." Now the kid's 9. And I said, "Okay, Dom, what's our time frame here?" And he said, "Well, I would like to be married by the time I'm 20, because we're going to have 15 children. And I said, "Okay, well, first of all, Dom, that gives us a lot of space. So how about we just take a bit of time?" And he said, "But I've got criteria, Nana." And I said, "All right, Dom, lay it on me." And he said, "One of the criteria is she cannot use adult words." Because he said, "I like Vera at school, but she uses adult words." And then he says to me, in fact, she uses the F word. Have you ever heard the F word, Nana? And I'm thinking, what do I do here? I said, no. He said, Nana, I'm going to say the F word, and I don't want you to tell me off because I'm only going to say it once. He said, it's fork. F-O-R-K. And I'm trying not to laugh because he takes it so very seriously. But, you know, the thing I've learnt most about autism is that they are very, very logical, and they view it from a place of how it suits them. And I've got thinking about people that, because, you know, in our family now we have neurotypical and neurodivergent. And for neurotypical people, which is you, me, Don, Susie, we'll trade power so quickly. We give it away so very quickly. We trade it off for people. We do our best at work. We do our best with our families. You know, we're forever living for other people. But I think there has to come a time when each of us needs to have this little bit where we say, actually, what's in it for me? And I think that's what I really loved most about Don's story, was that he got this great idea and he just ran with it for no reason, but it made him happy. And I think that we miss that in life so very often because we adult. And one of the things my grandchildren do is they refuse to let me adult. And I'm a bit of a fun person at heart. So, you know, when they're around, it's very childlike. And because I want them visiting my home for the rest of my life. I love my grandchildren. I have a very big ethos around family. But I'm also reminded in all of the play and the walks at the beach and the throwing the ball for the dog and all of that, is that life is meant to be orgasmic. So for me, my life is orgasmic because it's surrounded by family. We have the fortunate privilege of living 4 houses from a beach that most people would think is picture perfect, which it is. You know, we have created this really great lifestyle, but for some people it's not that. But what I always say is this: at the end of the day, it's those stories that you will remember. At the end of the day, it's the people you imparted. Like Don and Susie have shared, you know, it's the people we've touched, it's the people we've helped. And the reason I do it is because when I was a child and I was sexually abused by 13 men before I was 14 years of age. So I was written off as a teenager, and I was told at 18 by a psychiatrist I would never amount to anything and I'd be dead by 30. And at the time, that was probably a fair assumption. But as you can see, I've lived past 30, even though I'm wearing a very good makeup that Susie gave me so I don't look that much over 30. But I do know this. I know that I went looking for the answers. And what I discovered is this: if you believe in yourself and you decide that you want to have the life that's intended for you, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. And you need to do 3 things. You need to make sure that people are in your life to help you. And I'm not sure about Canada and South Africa, but here in Australia, mental health is a very big deal now. We really do have a lot of it going on. And so I do a lot of mental health work with people, and I'm a big believer in we should be investing in our mental health financially with coaches and mentors and support groups like we do our physical health, because it is actually way more important. Your body was designed to heal itself, but it won't heal if your mental state isn't strong enough. I'm a big believer in resilience. I'm a big believer in you can get whatever you desire. You just have to work that out at the beginning. And one of the things I have on my fridge, I have 2 quotes that live on my fridge forever. And one of them is, it's better to build children than repair grown-ups. And the other one is, coffee, chocolate, and men, some things have just got to be rich.
Wait for it. Wait for it, Tracy. Wait for it.
Love it.
I love it. My beautiful Tracy, it's so true. You know, I also a big advocate for self-love and mindfulness, because 4 years ago, I've changed my life. I lost a whole person in weight. And yes, mindfulness is a big thing. Mental health is a big thing, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So I want to say thank you. How can people get hold of you? I just want to mention in the bio, the guest bios is in the description box. It's also on the YouTube channel, and everywhere I've posted the connection points and their bios, it's in the description box. So Tracy, how can people get hold of you?
Okay, so I'm not as impressive as Susie. I can't reel these off because I actually have staff and I have a PA that does all my socials. But I am on Facebook under Tracy Horton, author, presenter, or something. You've seen my face. You will be able to find me. I'm not quite as popular as Susie, but I am there. I also have a website, Tracy Horton International, and if you want to log on the website and send me a message, it gets to the office within about 20 minutes. My office is very, very well raised for that. I am on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I am sort of everywhere, but I would love you to just reach out, and if you need any help or any support, that's what I'm all about. I love to just change people's lives.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tracy. And we will definitely have a connection again, because I would love to tell you how I play with my children in New Zealand. Hide and seek, STOP, stop. I'm on the trampoline with the phone. I will tell you. So my beautiful Don, because we actually went a few minutes, over 8 minutes, and the broadcast didn't start. So I want to ask you the following questions. If you can tell us about Mo Monday, and if you can tell us, how do you help people, and how can people also get to hold of you? Thank you, Don.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow, I know we're really short on time, so I put a link, and I want to offer to your audience, if anybody would love a copy of Hazel Grace and the Magic Blanket, that's my personal email. I'll send it to you. I'll autograph it. I'll send it out free. If you can cover postage for me, that's a wonderful thing. So if you're able to put that up for everyone to see, that would be wonderful. There it is. Yeah. And other than that, Mo Mondays, I know we only have a few minutes. Mo Mondays has impacted my life. I was at a point where I had gone to watch this event in a local city, and people were up telling stories. I had no idea what I was getting into, but in I go, and my wife and I loved it, to the point that every month we would return. And then again comes my friend Gordon Melville, who was actually presenting a story, which got me started in that. And just on a whim, he looked at me probably about a month and a half in, and he says, "How would you like to purchase a franchise with me of Mo Mondays for our own city?" And that's what we did. And with no experience, we jumped in. And again, like you had mentioned about transitioning with the pandemic, how do we make things happen? This is a live event that's on stage, and there were 16 at the time. There were 16 franchises or chapters. Going into the pandemic, Gordon and I knew that we needed to keep the inspiration and motivation going, and we figured it out. We put it online, and we then, I think our high watermark for viewership was around 30,000. So we went from having a room of 40 people to a global community, which has been beautiful. And we could pull speakers in from all over the world. We had Austria, we had Kenya. It was amazing time. We're now back live on stage. In my bio is a link possibly to the Mo Monday stuff, which is great. Would love to hear from you. And if you go on the YouTube, you can actually see, if you go on YouTube and just search Mo Mondays for Motivational Mondays, Waterloo, that's the city. Over the past 4 years, we do 10-minute clips of individual speakers, and you'll hear them. Some of them are professional speakers. The majority of them are not. They're just telling stories from the heart. And it gives me the feel goods all around.
Wow. Amazing. It's definitely in the description, so people can go and watch. So my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. I would have loved still to have all of the presenters give them golden nuggets, but what we will do, I'm going to ask them to give it to me, and then we will put it in here. And then, so if you can just stay a few minutes, we will put your golden nuggets in so that it's on the stream. I would love to play out of my, I cannot play my forever song, Walking on Sunshine, but Jennifer Gerald, also a Diamond Beauty, have written a beautiful song. So let me quickly play it, and then we will wave goodbye. You can dance with me, please.
Walking on sunshine or dancing in the rain. Sprinkle me with fairy dust so I can fly away. Smiling at a moonbeam or squinting in the sun. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love. From butterflies to eagles.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Magic